morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well today. Lots and lots to get into. But before we do that, please do me a small favour. Make sure to drop a like on today's video and be sure to subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. It is game day. We play Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League at 2 p.m, I think it is. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because we always look forward to football matches, but at the same time, we literally have nothing to play for in the Premier League. It's pointless at this stage. We can't get relegated. I don't think we can get any European football. Let me just double check if it's mathematically possible. We're not getting European football. We're 19 points off 6th place with 16. Yeah, so it isn't mathematically possible to get European football as it stands. So it's effectively just a free pass. But what I would like to know from you guys this morning is, what are your score predictions for this game? Should Ruben Amorim play some youth players? Should we see Jobe starting? Should we see Harry Amas? Maybe Kokoni starting at centre-back? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I personally think we should, because obviously we all know that the focus now is on the Europa League. That's the trophy we have to win. So yeah, I think rotation is definitely needed. We play Wolves today, we play Bournemouth a week today, and then we play Athletic Bilbao on the Thursday. So it's going to be a big few weeks for Manchester United. And then sandwiched between the two European matches, we play Brentford away. So yeah, all focus is on that game now. If I was Ruben Amorim, I would use this time to give some youth players a chance. I don't think Wolves can get relegated. Let me just double check. They might be right on the cusp of it. Let's have a look. Wolves. Yeah, I don't think can they get relegated? Yeah, I mean, they're 4 points away from safety, Wolves. It's very unlikely they're going to get relegated effectively. But yeah, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on scores. What score do you think it will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Yeah, I think we'll probably win today. I think we have got the momentum behind us. I think Manchester United obviously winning that game against Lyon the other night would have filled the players with confidence. And hopefully we can build on that now, and hopefully we can have a good end to the season. That's kind of what we have to look for here. A positive end to the season. Fingers and toes crossed that we can get that Europa League in the bag, which obviously then means we get Champions League football. That kind of has to be the goal, doesn't it? So yeah, but let me know how you're feeling about this game. Are you hopeful? Do you think we'll win? Do you think we'll lose? Get in the comment section. Let me know. I'm going to go with... I think we're going to beat Wolves comfortably today, to be honest. I'm going to go with 3-1 Manchester United. I'm feeling confident. I feel like the momentum's behind us. I feel like 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, Old Trafford behind us. I'm confident. So yeah, really excited about this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And let's move on from that. Right, okay. So let's move on to Jobe Bellingham. I don't know how I feel about this. I think, the prospect of signing Jobe Bellingham sounds great, but is that going to be enough for us? I don't think so. I don't know. I just think we have this obsession at the moment with signing young players, which is great. I understand that you need to build a team for the future, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just think we're focusing too much on youth players at the moment, and I feel like, we're not going to win anything of any substance, I don't think. I know people will say, we have done it before in the past, but obviously football's changed in the last 10, 20 years. You have to have a mixture of experience and non-experience. And at the moment, I feel like most of the players in that team aren't really that experienced. Obviously, you've got Casemiro, who's been around a long time. But other than that, it's relatively an inexperienced side. So, yeah, I mean, the thought of signing Jobe Bellingham, it sounds great. He's obviously a talented player. But Would he get into our team at the moment? You know, would he start ahead of Mainu? Probably not. What happens to people like, the other young players that are coming through, like Kone? Like, I don't know. I'm just not sure if it's actually necessary. I feel like we just need to be clever and put in some good, experienced, high quality players into that side. And I think if we do that, I think then we have the potential chance of, building on where we are now. Obviously, we're not where we want to be, but I do think we have the chance to then kind of grow. But if we're just bringing in like 18-year-olds and expecting them to come to the Premier League and suddenly win us titles and stuff, I just don't see it. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what you guys all think about Bellingham. I know there's a lot of teams interested in him, and the story this morning is that apparently Manchester United are one of the teams pushing forward to sign Bellingham. Not Jude Bellingham, obviously his brother, Jobe Bellingham. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm just cautious is probably the right word. I'm cautious about it because I think, as great as it is building a team on youth, I think at the moment the one thing we're missing is experience and players who have that elite mentality. That's really the question here is, how many players in this Manchester United squad would you say have an elite mentality? And I think the answer is probably quite damning. Probably not very many. So, yeah. But let me know what you think about all of that. Would you go for Bellingham or would you be looking at someone else? Let me know your thoughts below. And let's move on to... I've got his name wrong in the title. Hold on a minute. Let me just change the title of the video. Let's move on to Diogo Costa. So this is an interesting story. This is coming up from multiple different people this morning, that apparently Manchester United sent scouts to Portugal to watch Bellingham. Not Bellingham, Diogo Costa play. I think he'd be a great signing, Diogo Costa. I think we do need a new goalkeeper. I think at the moment, Onana's just not cutting it. I mean, I say at the moment, he's not been cutting it for a long time, in my opinion. I think he's been very average, and that's probably being kind. And I think it probably is now time to move Andre Onana on. There's stories this morning that apparently Saudi are circling for Onana again. Great. If we can get I think we need 20 million, I read this morning, in order to break even in relation to amortization, financial fair play, and all of that stuff. So if we could get around 20 million for him, I would be happy. I don't know if I'd be ecstatic, but I would be happy. So yeah, let me know how you feel about Onana. I assume most people agree with what I'm saying, that he's... I don't know. I feel like he's at the end of the road with Manchester United, but maybe that's me being a little bit harsh. I just don't see him being the keeper we need for the future. I just don't see it. But again, I'd love to know what you guys think. I'm always interested to see what other United fans are feeling like. And I think with Onana, everybody seems to be in agreement that he's just not good enough, unfortunately. So yeah. See what else we got. All right, let's move on to Bruno Fernandes. By the way, anybody who's wondering where the plant is, you see the plant's missing. It fell down yesterday and there was soil everywhere, so that was not very good. But it happens. Al says we had the opportunity to sign Costa before Onana. How can we waste 50 million on Onana and then spend big on Costa? Yeah, but I guess you could argue that it wasn't the current management team who signed Onana. It was... Who was it who signed Onana? Obviously, it was Ten Hag, but who was the... I can't remember. My brain's gone. It wasn't Ed Woodward. Yeah. Right. Let's move on from that. And let's talk about... Where are we? Let's talk about Bruno Fernandes. John Murta, that was it. Yeah. My brain's not fully switched on yet today, unfortunately. Not fully awake. Right, let's talk a little bit about Bruno Fernandes then. So the stories are still coming out, as they always do around this time of year, that apparently the Saudi Pro League is going to try and bring Bruno Fernandes to Saudi. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so it says Bruno Fernandes is among the top target for Al Hilal this summer. I mean, I can see why. I can see why Saudi would want to go for Bruno. You know, he is one of the... Well, I mean, statistically wise, some people like Bruno, some people don't. Statistically wise, he is one of the best players in the world in his position, statistically wise. Okay, that doesn't mean, obviously, what you see with your eyes is different to what you see on stats. So, you know, some people might not like his game, his wastefulness. Some people might not, you know. Anyway, we don't need to go into the negative sides of Bruno Fernandes, but he's a big name player. He's going to be 31 by the time the new season starts, which I don't think is that old, really, in the grand scheme of things for a professional footballer. He is obviously on the decline in relation to just general sporting ability. You know, I think they say your prime's around, is it 26 to 30? So he's kind of at the end of, well, he's in his prime right now, and it's probably only going to go down from here. Maybe not immediately. I think he'll still be able to play at the level he is for probably, I think, another 3 to 5 years, I think, personally. I don't think we've seen any drop-off in Bruno. You know, his work rate, his ability, his athleticism. So I'm not worried about Bruno in that sense. He is going to be linked with an exit all summer, though, especially if we don't get Champions League football, because the argument will be, what would you rather? Play for Manchester United, who are not in Europe, and finished probably one place off the relegation, or would you rather get a move to potentially another top European side, or even you go to Saudi, you earn money that will change you and your family's life for hundreds of years to come, and you're not going to play in the Champions League, but you don't play in the Champions League anyway. So, although they have their own version of the Champions League, isn't it? Is it what's the Champions League that Ronaldo still plays in? It's not obviously the European Champions League, but there's another one, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called, but there's definitely a Champions League that Saudi teams play in. He's got 2 years left on his current deal, Bruno Fernandes. So if they are thinking about selling him, which I don't know if they are, I mean, this summer would be the year to do it, because if you wait till next year, he'll have 1 year left on his contract, and he might just turn around and say, "Oh, I'm gonna stay," and then leave for free at the end of it. So I think it is a big summer in many regards for Manchester United. I think the likelihood of Manchester United wanting to sell Bruno is very small, but I think if a huge offer came in for him, you know, we're talking like 80 to 100 million from Saudi, I think it'd be very difficult for them to turn it down, because you've got to remember his transfer fee is completely paid off now. So if Manchester United were to get, say, 100 million for him, that would be classed as pure profit in relation to financial fair play. So you can see why they'd be tempted. We know that Ineos are skint. We know that Manchester United are desperate for money. Let me have a sip of my water. So yeah, I personally wouldn't sell Bruno Fernandes unless, like I said, if someone comes in and offers you 80 to 100 million, I would obviously take that. You know, you'd have to take that. But otherwise, I'd probably say no, realistically. Yeah, it's a no for me. But I'd be interested to see what you guys all think. Would you sell Bruno Fernandes this summer, or would you keep him? Let me know what you think. I assume most people would keep him, but again, I'm always interested to see what other people have to say. So get in the comment section now. Let me know your thoughts. Would you sell Bruno? Would you keep him? Very interested to see what you all have to say. Right, let's see if there's anything else to touch on this morning. Let's have a little look. Where are we? Apologies for the lack of videos the last couple of days, guys. I've been very, very busy. So I managed to have a bit of a space this morning. I think that's probably everything. Hidden Element says, I wouldn't sell Bruno unless it's over 100 million. He's too valuable. If we can't replace him, who would we even replace him with? That's fair enough. I mean, some people would say, what about Cherky, Ryan Cherky? He could replace him, I think. I mean, what if I said that to you, right? You can sign Cherky for 25 million. That's the asking price. 21 years of age. 12 goals and assists in 12 Europa League matches this season, and you sold Bruno for 100 million, so you'd have 75 million euros left to play with. I mean, he is more of a right winger, to be fair, but obviously we don't play right wingers. We play attacking midfielders, so he could play as the right attacking midfielder, couldn't he? It all depends on what happens with the rest of the squad. Like, for me personally, we need another player like Manuel Ugarte to sit alongside him, whether that's Edison from Atalanta. And then it all depends on what happens with people like Garnacho. Like, if Garnacho leaves, then obviously Bruno 100% has to stay. But, you know, if Garnacho's staying, Sancho comes back. I'm not saying I want this to happen, by the way. I'm just, you know, brainstorming what could happen. You know, if we find out that Sancho's going to come back and Rashford's going to come back and Garnacho's not going anywhere and, you know, etc., then maybe selling Bruno is the only option to raise funds. I don't know. It wouldn't be my preferred option. I would definitely rather get rid of people like Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho before we start having the conversation about Bruno Fernandes. But anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching the stream today. I really, really appreciate you guys' support. Please make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe before you go. This has been Daily Red Devil. I'll be back tomorrow morning as normal. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sundays, whatever you're doing, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.